has before it a draft resolution submitted by Indonesia and the Netherlands in document A/A/L393. In order to enable the Assembly to deal with this matter expeditiously, I propose to call first on the sponsors of the draft resolution and then
Mr. President, in the first place, I want to thank you and through you to the General Committee for their generous consent to give priority in the discussion of the agreement reached between the Netherlands and Indonesia. I'm standing again at this rostrum and thank God with the report that the conflict of West Irian has been settled in a peaceful way between Indonesia and the Netherlands, concluded with an agreement signed on the 15th of August of this year. We may recall that, at the initiative of the Acting Secretary General, both parties came together for an informal discussion. During these informal discussions, the Acting Secretary General was represented by Ambassador Ellsworth Bunker, and it was due to the tireless efforts of the Secretary General and Ambassador Bunker, and based upon the sincere desire of both parties to reach a settlement within a period of not more than 2 weeks, an agreement could be formulated which, in the annals of international affairs, could be regarded as a very speedy settlement of a conflict which lasted for about 13 successive years. Other than that, also this agreement has contributed to the success and prestige of the United Nations in bringing about the settlement and reconciliation in a conflict between its member nations. The Indonesian delegation, together with the Netherlands, is now placing before you a draft resolution which is circulated in document A/L393. The whole spirit of the agreement, formulated into 29 articles added by the exchange of letters and other annexes, is aimed in the first place to serve in the best way the interest of the population of West Irian. This is the foremost task of all parties concerned, either in the period before the takeover by the United Nations administration and during the short period of transitional administration of the United Nations, or finally during the period of the administration of the Republic of Indonesia. It is the sincere aim. On the other hand, we will not weaken our alertness towards any efforts from outside or within to create disharmony amongst us. And for this, we are preparing ourselves for any kind of emergencies. In this context, we hope sincerely that the parties concerned, especially during the transitional period, that is Indonesia and the Netherlands and the United Nations Administrator, will always take at heart, in the first place, the interest of the population of West Irian itself. Any disharmony amongst the people in West
Mr. President, permit me, on first taking the floor in this General Assembly, to express to you the very warm feelings of rejoicing at your assuming your exalted office, which animate not only the members of the Netherlands government and of our delegation, but in this special case, the Netherlands people as a whole. Mr. President, the Netherlands delegation recommends the adoption of the draft resolution contained in document AL 393, and jointly sponsored by Indonesia and the Netherlands. Under the terms of this resolution, the General Assembly, in the first place, takes note of the agreement signed on behalf of the Republic of Indonesia and the Kingdom of the Netherlands at headquarters of the United Nations in New York on the 15th of August 1962, and subsequently ratified by both parties. And in the second place, acknowledges the role conferred upon the Secretary General of the United Nations in that agreement, and finally authorizes the Secretary General to carry out the tasks entrusted to him. For the Netherlands, the part to be played by the Secretary General is of the utmost importance. So now that the parties have devised and agreed to a settlement, it would be both surly and redundant to revert once more to the long history of this conflict between the Netherlands and Indonesia. I do feel it my duty, however, to make, for the benefit of the members of the General Assembly, some comments about the reasons that have compelled the Netherlands government to sign the agreement and to recommend its ratification to our Parliament. As must be abundantly clear to all those who have followed the debates on this subject, the New Guinea question was not a colonial problem. The repeated statements, culminating in the proposals made by the Netherlands in the 16th General Assembly, left no doubt about, and finally, sir, that the United Nations will assist the Papuan people on their way to development in such a manner that the outcome of their free choice may redound to the honor and glory of all concerned. Thank you, sir.
The draft resolution contained in document A/L 393. The delegation of the Cameroons has asked for a roll call vote. The roll call will begin with Romania.
South Africa, absent. Spain, yes. Sudan, yes. Sweden, yes. Syria, yes. Tanganyika, yes. Thailand, yes. Togo, abstention. Trinidad and Tobago, absent.
The result of the vote on the resolution is as follows. For the resolution, 89. Against the resolution, none. Abstentions, 14. Absent, 5. The resolution is adopted.
The General Assembly has brought into force the agreement between these two states concerning West New Guinea, that is West Irian. At the same time, the Assembly has placed on the Secretary General a very heavy responsibility indeed. I accept this responsibility and shall endeavor to the best of my ability to carry out the tasks entrusted to me under the agreement.
I feel that this agreement sets an epoch-making precedent. Under it, for the first time in its history, the United Nations will have temporary executive authority established by and under the jurisdiction of the Secretary General over a vast territory. The agreement is unique in another respect. Although the United Nations has a vital role to play in implementing the agreement, the general membership of the organization will not be required to meet additional